Trigger warning. Ghosts, ghouls, and gruesome stuff ahead. It's weird, it's dark, it's your kind of vibe.
Welcome to Haunted and Homicidal, the podcast where true crime meets the paranormal. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Courtney. Every week we uncover the terrifying, the twisted, and the totally unexplainable. Lock your doors and grab your sage.
Because things are about to get haunted and homicidal. Hey guys.
What's up?
Welcome back. I know last week was kind of rough and long. But
well, it wasn't last week. It was Monday.
Close enough. Close enough. Last episode.
It was just a few days ago.
Yeah, last episode. This one's gonna be kind of long too. Sorry.
Well, mine's gonna be
about
short
it.
this time. Hers is gonna be the long
Mine's
one.
long. But you know, we're talking about.
We take turns.
Yes, but we're also talking about a very, very, very widely known cryptid that had so much information and backstory. So, that's why it's long. Yeah. I don't know what's being cooked in there, but it's like making my stomach turn.
I don't know. When I went out there, it smelled like chicken.
I don't remember buying them chicken.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I might have. Oh, chicken nuggets. Yeah, I did buy dino nuggies.
That's probably it, because it smells like chicken.
I don't know, maybe. I don't like it. It's making my stomach turn. I don't like chicken.
I got like rice paper, and then I cut the seaweed into a circle to fit the rice paper, and then I did crab meat mixture, and I put I spreaded cream cheese all over the seaweed, and I put the crab meat in the middle, and I did like shrimp, and then I rolled it, and I sealed it with the rice paper, and then I stick it on a pan, and you fry it for a few minutes. Oh my god!
Yum, that sounds so good.
And add eel sauce on top, which I forgot the rice because I was in a rush. But I forgot the rice, which it was actually pretty good without the rice.
Yeah. The rice just is like more filling.
Yeah, but those were so good.
That sounds good. Okay, well, I guess we will go ahead and get started because, again, it is kind of a long one today. I apologize, but I'm really not sorry about it.
Alrighty, so I have the Castle Bran. If I say it wrong, I'm sorry. So, it is a castle in Bran, 25 kilometers or 60 miles southwest of Brasov.
What country?
Transylvania.
Ooh.
The castle was built by Saxons in 1377, who were given the privilege by Louis I of Hungary.
Okay.
It is a national monument and landmark in Transylvania. The fortress is on the Transylvanian side of the historical border with Wallachia.
Okay.
Marketed outside Romania as Dracula's Castle, it is presented as the home of the title character in Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, which was written in 1897.
Nice.
There is no evidence, though, that Stoker knew anything about this castle, which has only tangential associations. I don't know what I write. With Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad.
Who was military of Wallachia, whose by name Draculia, or however you say it in that language, resembles that of Dracula. And then Stoker's description of Dracula's crumbling fictional castle also bears no resemblance to Bran Castle. The castle is now a museum dedicated to displaying art and furniture collected by Queen Marie. Tourists can see the interior on their own or by a guided tour.
Nice.
And at the bottom of the hill is a small open-air museum exhibiting traditional Romanian peasant structures like cottages, barns, water-driven machinery, etc. from the Bran region. So first, we talk about the history of the castle. So, first castle. So, based on the controversial information in... Okay, I'm going to butcher some names.
It's
I'm
out
sorry.
It's out of America.
I'm sorry.
Y'all know how we
Yeah,
are. Right now, so.
we English. We don't do other languages.
This should not be new to you guys.
No.
We do apologize. We try.
But, yes. But just in case you're new, yes. We can barely English.
We fuck it up.
So when it's not English, we really fuck it up.
Yeah,
So,
and we try. Like, we write it down phonetically, but then when it gets to recording, we, can't read. We can't speak. It's just, I don't know. We try, though. We do apologize to
yeah.
anybody who knows what these words actually are. Feel free to yell at us and correct us as needed.
So, okay. Sekeli Chronicle of Sikh, whose veracity is questionable. It can be concluded that the original fortification was built in the 11th century by the Seklis, who were settled here by King Ladislaus I of Hungary under the leadership of Stephen Sandor to protect the strategically
We can't even pronounce
important
English words.
territory from attacks by the Cubans and Pechenegs. It was likely subsequently destroyed during their next raid, as the territory was ceded to the Teutonic Order in the 13th century and construction of a new foundation began.
Okay.
You drink.
Yes. I know nothing about this castle, so I'm learning today.
Wooden Castle of the German Order. So in 2011,
So like 14 years ago?
2011. No, 1211. Sorry.
Oh, that's
12.
1211.
1211.
Okay, 1211.
The Teutonic Order received this land as a gift from Andrew II to ensure the protection of Hungary from the Cubans.
Okay.
In 1212, the Teutonic Order built the wooden castle of Dietrichstein as a fortified position in the Burzenland at the entrance to a mountain pass through which traders had traveled for more than a millennium.
Millennium?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Bro, I'm struggling today. You can tell I'm like asleep. Okay.
Yes, that's why I got coffee this morning at
I did not.
5:57 a.m.
I had eggnog. I should have had coffee.
Yeah, no. I made him stop for coffee. Well, I didn't make him. I was like, if it's like out of the way, which it was, and he's like, I don't give a fuck, you're getting coffee. So I was like, cool.
He's so nice. This castle was destroyed by royal troops during the expulsion of the Teutonic Order from the territory of the Kingdom of Hungary around 1225.
Okay.
The castle's original name, Dietrichstein or Lapis Theodorici in Latin, I guess. Dietrich Stone seems to have derived from the Comther, which is commander, and regional preceptor Frater Theodoricus, mentioned in a 1212 document. This Dietrich is the probable builder of the castle.
Okay.
A 1509 document confirms that the Torsburg County had once belonged to Commander Dietrich of the Teutonic Order. So now we're talking about the stone castle of the Kronstadt Saxons.
Okay.
The first documented mention of Bran Castle is the act issued by Louis I of Hungary on November 19, 1377.
It's a very long time ago.
Very long. Giving the Saxons of Kronstadt, which is modern Brasov, the privilege to build the stone castle at their own expense and labor force. The settlement of Bran began to develop nearby.
Okay.
In 1438 to 1442, the castle was used in defense against the Ottoman Empire and later became a customs post on the mountain pass between Transylvania and Wallachia. Are you looking at it?
It's fucking beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. Look at that. Oh, guys, I'll post these pictures. These are phenomenal. Look how pretty.
Although many castles of the time belonged to members of the nobility, it has been established that Bran Castle was built most exclusively for fortification and protection of German colonists in Transylvania. It is believed the castle was briefly held by Marcio, the elder of Wallachia, during whose period the customs point was established. The Wallachian ruler Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler,
Yeah.
1448 to 1476,
His story is fucking wild too.
does not seem to have had a significant role in the history of the fortress, although he passed several times through the Bran Gorge. At some point, Bran Castle belonged to the Hungarian kings, but due to the failure of King Vladislaus II to repay loans. What?
Okay, so does this castle look like the castle in Hotel Transylvania?
Yes,
It does.
that's the point. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
that's their inspiration.
Oh, see, yeah, that's neat. I didn't know that, but
Mhm.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
We watched Hotel Transylvania last night because I wanted something to watch, and that's what we watched. And I'm like, that looks a lot like
Mm-hmm.
The hotel in Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Nice.
Yes. So, due to the failure of King Vladislav II to repay loans, the city of Brasov regained possession of the fortress in 1533. In 1530, Moise of Wallachia, Void of Wallachia, sent an army to capture the castle, but the Slekeli soldiers led by the castle Lord Dennis defended the building, thereby forcing the Wallachian army to retreat.
Look, I can't get behind a conqueror named Dennis.
Well, it's Denes, so Dennis.
Okay. I thought you meant like Dennis the Menace. My husband's name is Dennis, and like
His name is Wayne. We never call him Dennis.
no, well, like his work people do.
Yeah, I know, because every time I would call him Wayne, they'd be like, who?
Yeah, and like someone would tell me like, no, Dennis. I'm like, who the fuck is Dennis? Like I haven't known this man for.
Yeah, so every time I had to talk to him
23
about him
years.
at work, I have to say Dennis, because I'm like, no one knows who fucking Wayne is.
Yeah, and I don't know who Dennis is. Like, who the fuck is that? I have no
Exactly.
clue.
Bran played a militarily strategic role up to the mid-18th century.
Okay.
So the royal residence and aftermath. So with the 1920 Treaty of Trianon, Hungary lost Transylvania, and the castle became a royal residence within the Kingdom of Romania after being given to the royal house by the Saxons of Kronstadt-Brasov, who had no more use for it and no interest in financing the time-damaged property.
Okay. So they're like, this shit's too expensive to maintain. You guys can have it.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It became the favored home and retreat of Marie of Romania, who ordered its extensive renovation conducted by the Czech architect Karen Zdeněk Lyman. The castle was inherited by her daughter, Princess Eilenia, who ran a hospital there in World War II.
Well,
It was
nice.
later seized by the communist regime with the expulsion of the royal family in 1948. On May 18, 2006, after a period of legal proceedings, the castle was legally returned to the children of Princess Eilenia. However, through the Ministry of Culture, the Romanian state was also to administer it for the next 3 years. In September 2007, an investigation committee of the Romanian parliament said that the retrocession of the castle to Archduke Dominic was illegal, as it broke the Romanian law on property and succession. However, in October 2007, the Constitutional Court of Romania rejected the parliament's petition on the matter. In
Wait,
addition,
like really 2007?
Eh?
Okay. I didn't know if you meant like 1207
No,
or anything this time.
2007.
Okay.
So, in addition, an investigation commission of the Romanian government issued a decision in December 2007 reaffirming the validity and legally of the restitution procedures used and confirming that the restitution was made in full compliance with the law. On May 18, 2009, administration of Bran Castle was transferred from the government to Archduke Dominic and his sisters, Archduchess Maria Magdalena. On June 1st, 2009, the Habsburgs opened the refurbished castle to the public as the first private museum in the country and presented a joint strategic concept in collaboration with Bran Village to maintain their prominent role in the Romanian tourist circuit and to safeguard the economic base in the region.
Okay.
So, Dracula's castle. Though many myths have been connected to the castle in connection with the Dracula myth, most historians agree that Vlad III, Dracula, also known as Vlad the Impaler, never lived in Castle Bran, which was neither a friendly place for him to visit nor under his rule. It was once believed that he was imprisoned there after he was captured by the Hungarians in 1462, but historians now conclude that he was imprisoned in a fortress in Budapest.
Okay.
And then connection to Bram Stoker's Dracula. So Bran Castle is not mentioned in the novel Dracula, and there is no evidence that Stoker ever visited either Transylvania or Bran Castle.
Okay.
Furthermore, the novel's description of the castle does not match Bran Castle. The claimed connection between the castle and the Dracula legend is tourism-driven. During Stoker's research on the region of Transylvania, he came across accounts of the atrocities committed by Vlad III and used the Dracula name after reading on the subject, but his inspiration for Dracula was not solely based on the historical figure. It is largely due to American cinema that Vlad III is considered the inspiration for the Dracula character.
Yep. And his, like I said, his story is fucking wild too.
Now we talk about the hauntings.
Okay.
Now we're on to spooky.
Spookaduka.
Spooky. So it's not only famous or its for its architectural beauty and historical significance, but also for its eerie tales of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena. So nestled in the heart of Transylvania, this medieval fortress has long been a focal point for stories of haunting and supernatural occurrences.
I want to go to there.
So first up, the legend of Dracula. Dracula. So the most famous association with the Bran Castle is, of course, the legend of Dracula.
Yeah.
While Vlad the Impaler, the historical figure who inspired Bram Stoker's fictional Count Dracula, likely never lived in the castle, the eerie atmosphere and remote location of Bran Castle have made it a fitting backdrop for the Dracula myth.
Mm-hmm.
Visitors often report feeling an unsettling presence as if the spirit of Vlad himself lingers within the castle walls. Next, we have the White Lady of Bran Castle. One of the most endearing ghost stories of Bran Castle is that of the White Lady. According to legend, the White Lady is the spirit of a noblewoman who tragically died within the castle.
Oh.
Some say she was betrayed by a lover, while others believe she was wrongfully accused of treason.
Oh no. That's like two completely separate issues.
Yes. Her ghost is said to wander the halls of the castle, dressed in a flowing white gown, emitting an aura of sorrow and melancholy.
Oh.
Witnesses claim to have seen her apparition near the chapel and in the courtyard, often accompanied by a chilling drop in temperature.
Oh. So she's like real upset.
Yes. Next up, we have the mysterious monk.
Okay.
Another spectral is the ghost of a monk. Legend has it that a monk was bricked up alive
Oh no.
within the walls of a castle as punishment for breaking his vows.
No. That is not how you punish monks.
That's how they punished that one.
That's wrong. I mean, it's better than what Vlad the Impaler would have done, but
Mm-hmm. His restless spirit is said to haunt the castle, particularly the old chapel and the narrow corridors. Visitors have reported hearing faint whispers and the sound of footsteps echoing in empty hallways.
I don't like it.
Some have even claimed to feel a cold hand brushing against them, as if the monk is still seeking redemption for his sins. You're not going to like this one.
Oh, it's a child, isn't it?
The children's laughter.
No. Oh, that is the worst. It's worse than like seeing a ball roll or like knowing it's a child. The fucking laughter. It's like, it is the worst.
The sound of children's laughter is
No.
perhaps one of the most unsettling phenomena reported at Bran Castle.
Yeah. No, I don't want to go to there anymore.
According to local lore, the castle was once the site of a massacre during a siege where many children lost their lives.
No. Why? Whoa. No.
Today, the spirits are believed to haunt the castle grounds. Visitors have described hearing the faint, playful laughter of children in the courtyards and garden, even when no children are present.
Nope.
Some have seen ghostly figures of children playing hide and seek among the trees, only to vanish into thin air.
Oh, fuck no. No, no creepy kids. No, thank you. I don't like it.
And then last up, we have unexplained phenomena. So beyond specific ghostly apparitions, Bran Castle is rife with reports of unexplained phenomena.
Okay.
Flickering lights, sudden gusts of cold air, and the sensation of being watched are common experiences for those who dare to explore the castle.
Well, I mean, like, don't they say, like, castles are kind of drafty? So, like, would that not explain the draft? Okay.
I think farts aren't supposed to be drafty.
Farts?
That's not what I said.
That's what I heard.
I did not say farts.
I was like, farts are drafty, thank you. But what?
Some parts.
Parts. That makes more
Parts.
sense.
Parts. Parts, not farts.
That makes more sense.
You weirdo.
I heard farts aren't supposed to be drafty. I was like, ma'am, in fact, they are. A draft out of your booty hole.
Paranormal investigators have captured mysterious orbs and shadows in their photographs, and EVP recordings have picked up unidentifiable whispers and cries.
Oh, not from children, right? 'Cause fuck them kids.
Probably.
Oh, gross. No, I don't like it.
All the above.
Burn it down.
So we shall go to Bran Castle.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's probably expensive.
Probably.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to Scotland.
Woo!
And we're gonna talk about Nessie.
Nessie!
The Loch Ness Monster. So Nessie is a mythical.
You sounded so Scottish.
Huh?
You sounded so Scottish for a second when you said Nessie.
Nessie?
I don't know. The way you said it sounded kind of Scottish.
Nessie?
I don't know.
I don't know how I said it. I
don't know.
can't like replicate it because I thought I just said it normal.
Mm-mm.
But I am part Scottish, so
I think.
maybe just.
I'm gonna drop my iPad.
Oh, don't do that. It's brand new.
Am I Scottish?
I don't know. Maybe it just came out like accidentally. I don't know. But Nessie is a mythical creature in Scottish folklore that is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands, where my cows are. My favorite cow is the Scottish Highland. I want it. They are often described as large, long-necked, and with one or more humps protruding from the water. And I'm sure everybody has seen like the most common picture of Nessie. Yeah. The interest and belief in the creature dates back all the way to 1933, so like almost 100 years right now.
That's so old.
Yeah. In 1980, Swedish naturalist and author Bengt Scrogen wrote that present beliefs in lake monsters such as the Loch Ness Monster are associated with Kelpie legends. According to Strogren, accounts of Loch Ness monsters have changed over time. Originally describing horse-like creatures, they were intended to keep children away from the loch. Scrogen wrote that the Kelpie legends have developed into descriptions reflecting a modern awareness of plesiosaurs, which is a dinosaur, like the
Plesiosaurus.
With the little flippy flapper wings.
The flipper flapper, the fins.
Yeah, they've got like flippy flappers.
The fins.
Yeah, you knew what I was saying. Flippy flappers. The Kelpie as a what? You knew what I was saying. I couldn't get out the word.
But it was the whole
The flippy flappers. Just in case you didn't know what I was saying, you had like imagery to go with it. And so you knew it was like,
That's great.
The flippy flappers. Yes, the wings. What do you call them?
Should have recorded that.
Not the wings.
The fins.
The fins. Yeah, the flippy flappers. Okay. So, the Kelpie as a water horse in Loch Ness was mentioned in an 1879 Scottish newspaper and inspired Tim Dinsdale's Project Waterhorse. A study of pre-1933 Highland folklore references two Kelpies, water horses, and water bulls, indicating that Ness was the loch most frequently cited.
Okay.
So, loch just means lake, in case people didn't know. So, it's...
Yeah.
Ness is like the name of that particular lake, like, Lake Ontario. This is Lake Ness.
Yes.
Just because a lot of people don't know what loch means. So the origin of the name, in August of 1933, the Courier published the account of George Spicer's alleged sighting. Public interest skyrocketed and countless letters were sent detailing different sightings. The letters described a quote-unquote monster fish, sea serpent, or dragon. Ultimately, the final name became the Loch Ness Monster because I want to pet it. Ness Lake, and it was just a monster. Nobody knew what it was. I want to pet it. So, it probably is slimy. I don't like that. I want to pet it. No, I don't like it. It probably has algae, and it's probably slimy, and it probably smells really bad. Sorry, Nessie.
Don't be mean to Nessie.
But it probably smells like a fish.
She is a fish. What do you expect her to smell like? Grapes?
Yes. I don't like fish smell. Yucky fish smell. Like fresh fish, okay, but like, I don't like it. So, now the sightings. Early precursors dating back to 565.
Good God, that's old.
In St. Columba, the earliest report of a monster in the vicinity of Loch Ness appears in the Life of St. Columba by Admanan, written in the 7th century AD, so a very long time ago.
Very long time ago.
According to Adamnan, writing about a century after the events described, Irish monk St. Columba was staying in the land of the Picts with his companions when he encountered local residents burying a man by the River Ness. They explained that the man was swimming in the river when he was attacked by a quote-unquote water beast that mauled him and dragged him underwater despite their attempts to rescue him by boat.
He said, bitch, get out my boat.
Yeah, no, he said...
Let me get out my water.
No, he said, stay in my water. You're my dinner. Columbus sent a follower, Lugine Moku.
Not Columbus.
Columbu. No. Columba sent... No, not Columbus. It was Columba sent.
Oh.
I need to space it out. Columba sent a follower, Lujin Mokumin, to swim across the river.
What?
The beast,
Just sacrifice the man?
Yeah, he's like, go do it. But Columba made the sign of the cross and said, "Go no further. Do not touch the man. Go back at once." The creature stopped as if it had been, quote unquote, pulled back with ropes and fled, and Columba's men and the Picts gave thanks for what they perceived as a miracle.
What the fuck?
I don't know. This was in the 500s. I don't know.
Go back, demon.
Yeah. Be gone.
Be gone, demon.
I guess it worked. Okay. So, believers in the monster point to this story, set in the River Ness rather than the loch itself, as evidence for the creature's existence as early as the 6th century. So, a very, very, very long time ago. Skeptics questioned the narrative's reliability, noting that the water beast stories were extremely common in medieval hagiographies. And Adamnan's tale probably recycles a common motif attached to the local landmark. According to those skeptics, the story may be independent of the modern Loch Ness Monster legend and became attached to it by proximity and by believers seeking to bolster their claims. Ronald Benz considers that this is the most serious of various alleged early sightings of the monster, but all other claim sightings before 1933 are dubious and do not prove a monster tradition before that date. Christopher Kearney uses a specific historical and cultural analysis of Adamnan to separate Adamnan's story about St. Columba from the modern myth of the Loch Ness Monster, but finds an earlier and culturally significant use of Celtic water beast folklore along the way. So, like, he's trying to separate the two, but, like, there's so much that are combined, especially with the water beast, quote-unquote, being mentioned as far back as the 6th century. In doing so, he also discredits any strong connection between Kelpies or water horses and the modern media-augmented creation of the Loch Ness Monster. He also concludes that the story of St. Columba may have been impacted by earlier Irish myths about the Canarnack and the Olive Feast. So again, these are sightings. D. Mackenzie, 1871 or 1872. In October of 1871 or 72, D. Mackenzie of Balnain reportedly saw an object resembling a log or an upturned boat, quote, wriggling and churning up the water, end quote, moving slowly at first before disappearing at a faster speed. The account...
he saw me.
Yeah, he's like, oh, shit. Fuck. Cover blown.
He saw me.
The account was not published until 1934, so, like, a very long time after the sighting, when Mackenzie sent his story in a letter to Rupert Gould shortly after popular interest in the monster increased. So, the year after the quote-unquote initial sighting that most people know about, this man wrote to Rupert Gould and was like, hey, I saw that shit too. So in 1888, Alexander MacDonald, who was a mason of Abercan, sighted a quote-unquote large stubby-legged animal surfacing from the loch and propelling itself within 50 yards of the shore where MacDonald stood. MacDonald reported his sighting to Loch Ness water bailiff Alex Campbell and described the creature as looking like a salamander. Why does the loch have a water bailiff?
I don't know.
I'm confused about that. So the best-known article that first attracted a great deal of attention about the creature was published on May 2nd of 1933 in the Inverness Courier about a large quote-unquote beast or quote-unquote whale-like fish. The article by Alex Campbell, water bailiff for Loch Ness, and a part-time journalist discussed a sighting by Aldie Mackay of an enormous creature with the body of a whale rolling in the water in the loch while she and her husband John were While she and her husband John were driving on the A82 on the 15th of April in 1933, the word quote-unquote monster was reportedly applied for the first time in Campbell's article, although some reports claim that it was coined by editor Evan Barron. So they're saying Campbell wrote monster, but they're saying the editor just kind of like added that in there for flair.
Because, like, it's not a monster if it doesn't kill or do anything.
Yeah, like I would say creature, not monster.
Exactly. It's not.
But anything unknown or scary looking or whatever.
But he's not scary looking.
He's
He's
a
a giant little dinosaur.
I'm on the fence about that. Like, the pictures of it now are cute, but, like, if you didn't know what the fuck it was and it's just, like, coming out of the water at you, like, no, that's scary. No. No.
Gimme, pet. Gimme.
Yeah, I think it'd be slimy. I don't like it. The Courier in 2017 published excerpts from the Campbell article, which had been titled Strange Spectacle in Loch Ness. And these are going to be quotes. The creature disported itself, rolling and plunging for fully a minute, its body resembling that of a whale and the water cascading and churning like a simmering cauldron. Soon, however, it disappeared into a boiling mass of foam. Both onlookers confessed that there was something uncanny about the whole thing, for they realized that here was no ordinary denizen of the depths, because apart from its enormous size, the beast, in taking the final plunge, sent out waves that were big enough to have been caused by a passing steamer.
I mean, if they're saying it's as big as a whale, of course it's going to be.
Right, like, hello. And it's saying
it's going to have tiny little waves.
It's big enough to have sent waves out like a boat would have, passing by. According to the 2013 article, McKay said that she had yelled, quote, "Stop the beast," when viewing the spectacle. In the late 1980s, a naturalist interviewed Aldi McKay, and she admitted to knowing that there had been an oral tradition of a quote-unquote beast in the loch well before her claimed sighting. Alex Campbell's 1933 article also stated that, quote, "The Loch Ness had generations been credited with being the home of a fearsome-looking monster." So even though the first quote-unquote sighting from 1933, there had been talk for many years prior about there being some kind of beast in the lake. Which that beast could have just been an unidentified fucking fish.
Exactly.
That people were like, what the fuck is that?
Exactly.
So, George
it's
Spicer.
a dinosaur that survived.
Well, it was like a chicken. Those are dinosaurs.
Exactly.
So, George Spicer, the 1933 sighting that kind of got all this moving again. Modern interest in the monster was sparked by a sighting on July 22nd of 1933 when George Spicer and his wife saw a, quote, "a most extraordinary form of animal" cross the road in front of their car. So it was not in the lake. It was crossing the road in front of their car.
Huh?
They described the creature as having a large body, about 4 feet high and 25 feet long, and a long, wavy, narrow neck, slightly thicker than an elephant's trunk, and as long as the 10 to 12 foot width of a road. They saw no limbs. It lurched across the road towards the loch 20 yards away, leaving a trail of broken underground in its wake. So it like flopped across the road and broke the road. Like it didn't. His little flappy things. He can't walk. He only has flaps. Yeah, it's like boing, boing, and it like broke the road where it was headed. Spicer described it as, quote, "the nearest approach to a dragon or prehistoric animal that I have ever seen in my life," and as having a, quote, "a long neck which moved up and down in the manner of a scenic railway."
Mish.
It had a, quote, "an animal" in its mouth and had a body that was, quote unquote, "fairly big with a high back, but if..." Mischa. So it had an animal in its mouth and had a body that was fairly big with a high back, but if there were any feet, they must have been of the webbed kind. And as for a tail, I cannot say, as it moved so rapidly, and when we got to the spot, it had probably disappeared into the log. So not only did it like bounce across the street, like it was super fast, and it like went directly into the lake.
It's a wee.
Yeah. Though he was the first to describe the creature as a plesiosaur-like dinosaur, evidence suggested by researchers at Columbia University in 2013 proved his story to be fake. The university and Daniel Loxton suggested that Spicer's sightings was fictionalized and inspired by a long-necked dinosaur that rises out of the lake in King Kong, a film that was extremely popular in cinemas in his home city of London during August of 1933, when Spicer reported the sighting. Loxton and Donald Prothero later cited King Kong as evidently an influence on the Loch Ness Monster myth.
Okay.
I don't know how, because that's a giant gorilla.
Exactly.
But whatever. Mish, come on.
Mish.
On August 4th of 1933, the Courier published a report of Spicer's sighting. This sighting triggered a massive amount of public interest and an uptick in alleged sightings, leading to the solidification of an actual name, the Loch Ness Monster. It had been claimed that sightings of the monster increased after a road was built along the loch in early 1933, bringing workers and tourists to the formerly isolated area. So they're saying the reason for the uptick was because there was a road that was being built, and normally there wasn't a lot of traffic through there, but now there was.
Okay.
So, however, Benz has described this as, quote, the myth of the Lonely Loch, as it was far from isolated before then due to the construction of the Caledonian Canal. In the 1930s, the existing road by the side of the loch was given a serious upgrade. So there was already a road there.
Yeah.
So they're saying, no, that can't be it because there was already a road there. This was not a hidden area. Like, it was traveled.
Yeah.
So another sighting, Hugh Gray of 1933. Hugh's Gray photograph taken near Foyers on November 12th of 1933 was the first photograph alleged to depict the monster. It was slightly blurred, and it had been noted that if one looks closely, the head of a dog can be seen. Gray had taken his Labrador for a walk that day, and it is suspected that the photograph depicts his dog fetching a stick from the loch. Others have suggested that the photograph depicts an otter or a swan.
What?
I don't know. That's like a whole bunch of different things. The original negatives were lost, of course.
Of course.
However, in 1963, Maurice Burton came, quote, into possession of 2 lantern slides, contact positives from the original negative. And when projected onto a screen, they revealed, quote, an otter rolling at the surface in characteristic fashion.
Did they have otters over there, though?
Would have had to. They would have had to for it to have been like possible. I mean, it's a lake, so yeah, otters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Arthur Grant, 1934. On January 5th of 1934, a motorcyclist, Arthur Grant, claimed to have nearly hit the creature while approaching Aberchan near the northeastern end of the loch at about 1 a.m. on a moonlit night. According to Grant, it had a small head attached to a long neck. The creature saw him and crossed the road back to the loch. He said, no.
He said, goodbye.
Peace out.
You don't see me.
Peace out, Girl Scout. Grant, who was a veterinary student, described it as a cross between a seal and a plesiosaur. He said he dismounted and followed it to the loch, but only saw the ripples. Grant produced a sketch of the creature that was examined by zoologist Maurice Burton, who stated it was consistent with the appearance and behavior of an otter. Regarding the long size of the creature reported by Grant, it has been suggested that this was a faulty observation due to the poor lighting conditions.
What?
Yeah. Paleontologist Darren Naish has suggested that Grant may have seen either an otter or a seal and exaggerated his sighting over time. So he's like, this is probably what he saw, but
denial.
he's, at the loch. So what is it that we talked about before where they want to see something?
Yeah.
And so they do see it.
Yeah.
So this one is called, quote unquote, the surgeon's photograph. And it is perhaps the most famous alleged photo of the creature and the first to portray its head and neck. It is attributed to Robert Kenneth Wilson, a London gynecologist. So, like, what the fuck? He's got nothing to do with animals and everything to do with vaginas, but he has, like, the most believable picture. I don't know. Whatever.
Because that makes sense.
On April 20th of 1934, multiple British newspapers reported Wilson's claim to have seen the monster while driving near Loch Ness the day before, but the stories do not mention the existence of a photograph. Quote, Dr. Wilson described the monster as having a small head and a swan-like neck protruding 3 feet above the surface of the water, so that's, like, big.
Yeah.
That's big. And that was reported by the Western Morning News. The following day, on April 21st, the Daily Mail announced it had purchased exclusive rights to a photo it attributed to, quote, Mr. Robert Kenneth Wilson, M.A., M.B., C.H.B. Camp, FRCS of Queen Anne Street West, who has been touring the Loch Ness countryside. So all those initials are like what his degrees are. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. I'm not going through them. That's just what it says. He has earned them all, so we get to mention them all. Along with the photo, it ran an interview with Wilson about his, quote, his remarkable luck in being able to secure such a photograph. Wilson said he was looking at the loch when he saw the monster, grabbed his camera, and snapped 4 photos. Only 2 exposures came out clearly. The first reportedly shows a small head and back, and the second shows a similar head in a diving position. The first photo became well known, and the second attracted little publicity because of its blurriness.
Well, yeah, it's moving. It's
Yeah,
going to be a little
right.
blurry.
For 60 years, the photo was considered evidence of the monster's existence, and this is the one that we all know.
Yeah.
The one that we all know. Although skeptics dismissed it as driftwood, an elephant, an otter, or a bird. Why is there an elephant in the lake? Like,
elephants do not live there. What the fuck?
Come on. The photo's scale was controversial. It is often shown cropped, making the creature seem large and the ripples like waves, while the uncropped shot shows the other end of the loch and the monster in the center. The ripples in the photo were found to fit the size and pattern of small ripples rather than large waves photographed up close. Analysis of the original image fostered further doubt. In 1993, the makers of Discovery Communications documentary Loch Ness analyzed the uncropped image and found a white object visible in every version of the photo, implying that it was on the negative. It was believed to be the cause of the ripples, and if the object was being towed, although the possibility of a blemish on the negative could not be ruled out.
Wait. What?
So basically what they're saying is in this photograph, it looks like whatever this object is being towed.
Okay.
And there's a spot on the original negatives that kind of like imply that there are ripples.
Okay.
So because that spot was found on all the photographs, on all of the negatives.
Okay.
But they're saying the ripples of whatever this is looks more like it's something that's being towed rather than something that's free swimming.
Okay.
So they're trying to debunk it. So an analysis of the full photograph indicated that the object was small, 2 to 3 feet long.
Okay.
Since 1994, most agree that the photo was an elaborate hoax. It has been described as fake in a December 7th, 1975 Sunday Telegraph article that fell into obscurity. Details of how the photo was taken were published in the 1999 book Nessie, The Surgeon's Photograph Exposed, which contains a facsimile of the 1975 Sunday Telegraph article. The creature was reportedly a toy submarine built by Christian Sperling, the stepson of actor, screenwriter, director, producer, and, perhaps most saliently, big game hunter M.A. Wetherell. Sperling admitted that the photograph was a hoax in January of 1991. Wetherell had been publicly ridiculed by his employer, the Daily Mail, after he found, quote, Nessie footprints that turned out to be a hoax. To get revenge on the Mail, Weatherly perpetrated his hoax with co-conspirator Sperling, who was a sculpture specialist, Ian Colin Marmaduke Wetherell, his son, also a future actor, who bought the material to create this fake creature.
Yeah.
And Maurice Chambers, who was an insurance agent.
What the fuck are you an agent for?
I don't know. A toy submarine was bought from F.W. Woolworth, and its head and neck were made from putty, from wood putty. After testing it in a local pond, the group went to Loch Ness, where Ian Marmaduke Wetherell took the photos near the Outseg Tea House. When they heard a water bailiff approaching, Wetherell sank the model with his foot, and it is, quote, presumably still somewhere in Loch Ness. Chambers gave the photographic plates to Wilson, a friend of his who enjoyed, quote, a good practical joke. Wilson brought the plates to Ogston's, an Inverness chemist, and gave them to George Morrison for development. He sold the first photo to the Daily Mail, who then announced that the monster had been photographed.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Little is known of the second photo. It is often ignored by researchers who believe
we don't care about this one.
Who believe it is too poor quality and its differences from the first photo too great to warrant analysis, which would be the whole fucking reason to analyze it, I would think.
Can you see this? Like, do they have the second photo posted anywhere? Do you know?
I don't know, but if I find it, I'm gonna add it too. It shows a head similar to the first photo with a more turbulent wave pattern and possibly taken at a different time and location in the loch. Some believe it to be an earlier, cruder attempt at a hoax, and others, including Roy Mackle and Maurice Burton, consider it a picture of a diving bird or otter that Wilson mistook for the monster. According to Morrison, when the plates were developed, Wilson was uninterested in the second photo. He allowed Morrison to keep the negative, and the photo was rediscovered years later. When asked about the second photo by the Ness Information Service newsletter, Sperling, quote, was vague, thought it might have been a piece of wood they were trying out as a monster, but was not sure. So even in the second photo, this dude's like, I don't know. It might have been fake. It could have been like what we had out there to try to create this hoax, but I don't remember. I don't know. Yeah. So, on May 29th of 1938, South African tourist G.E. Taylor filmed something in the loch for 3 minutes on 16mm color film. The film was obtained by popular science writer Maurice Burton, who did not show it to other researchers. As a single frame was published in his 1961 book, The Elusive Monster. His analysis concluded that it was just a floating object and not an animal. So this dude is like debunking everything left and fucking right. On August 15th of 1938, William Fraser, chief constable of Inverness Shire, wrote a letter that the monster existed beyond doubt and expressed concern about a hunting party that had arrived with custom-made harpoon guns, determined to catch the monster, quote-unquote, dead or alive.
Leave it alone. It's not doing anything, damn it.
Shit. He's just there and, like, breaking roads. But he's not like, hurting people.
He's not doing anything.
He believed his power to protect the monster from the hunters was, quote-unquote, very doubtful. The letter was released by the National Archives of Scotland on April 27th of 2010. So a very long time later. They just kind of, like, found all this information recently.
Okay.
So in December of 1954, sonar readings were taken by the fish boat Rival 3. Its crew noted a large object keeping pace with the vessel at a depth of 146 meters, which is 479 feet, so a very long way down.
Yeah, that loch is like deep as shit.
Yeah, it was detected for 2,600 feet before contact was lost and regained. Previous sonar attempts were inconclusive or negative.
Because they have like caves like in the loch.
Right.
Like that thing's deep as shit.
Yeah, it's very, very deep. So finding this, if it's true or not, finding this creature, it's going to prove difficult.
And it's like, even if it is there, like it like
it's not doing anything. It's never hurt anybody.
And it's gonna, like, you don't know what's all down there. Like, because you got caves. The loch is like super fucking deep.
Yeah.
Like,
come on. So Peter McNabb at Urquhart Castle on July 29th of 1955 took a photograph that depicted two long black humps in the water. The photograph was not made public until it appeared in Constance White's 1957 book on the subject. On October 23rd of 1958, it was published by the Weekly Scotsman. Author Ronald Binns wrote that the phenomenon which McNabb photographed could easily be a wave effect resulting from three trawlers traveling closely together up the loch. So it's just saying three boats.
Oh,
a trawler is like a fishing boat, like a small boat. Yeah. Other researchers considered the photograph a hoax. Roy Mackal requested to use the photograph in his 1976 book. He received the original negative from McNabb, but discovered it differed from the photograph that appeared in White's book. The tree at the bottom left in White's was missing from the negative. It is suspected that the photograph was doctored by re-photographing a print.
Mm-hmm.
So, aeronautical engineer Tim Dinsdale filmed what he believed to be a dark hump that left a wake crossing Loch Ness on the 23rd of April of 1960. Dinsdale, who reportedly had the sighting on his final day of search, described it as a mahogany red with a blotch on its side when viewed through binoculars. He said that when he mounted his camera, the object began to move, and he shot 40 feet of film.
Damn.
Yeah. According to the Joint Air Reconnaissance Intelligence Center, the JARIC, who published a 1966 report analyzing the film, the object was, quote, probably animate. After the film, Dinsdale continued to pursue finding the Loch Ness Monster, but while he claimed to have had additional sightings, he was unable to produce more photographic evidence. So basically, the JARIC was saying it was probably an animate object. It was moving freely. It wasn't inanimate. It wasn't a log. You know, this had, like, consciousness. It was moving. Yeah. So, in 1993, Discovery Communications produced a documentary called Loch Ness Discovered with a digital enhancement of the Dinsdale film. A person who enhanced the film noticed a shadow in the negative that was not obvious in the developed film. By enhancing and overlaying frames, he found what appeared to be a rear body of a creature underwater. quote, "Before I saw the film, I thought the Loch Ness Monster was a load of rubbish. Having done the enhancement, I'm not so sure." So this guy noticed something in the film that nobody else did, did whatever he had to do, and was like, shit, this might be something.
There's something there.
However,
and if it is there, leave it alone.
Right,
it just wants to live,
stop
damn it.
touching shit. Just stop touching shit.
Leave it alone. It's not freaking doing anything.
Right. However,
leave Nessie alone.
However, additional analyses of the Dinsdale film have indicated...
Analyses?
Yeah.
Analysis?
No.
Oh.
Analysis is one. Analyses are multiple. Yeah. So additional analyses like diagnosis and diagnoses.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. So, however, additional analyses of the Dinsdale film have indicated that his sightings was a case of mistaken identity and that he likely filmed a boat under poor lighting conditions.
What?
Bruh.
What?
Although Dinsdale attempted to rule this out by organizing for a fishing boat to sail a similar route later that morning, this comparison was filmed under different lighting conditions with a white boat. JARIC's estimates of the size and speed of the object are now believed to be overestimates due to miscalculations of the angle of the camera and cuts in the film, and overlaying multiple frames seems to show a pale blob toward the rear end of the object, which appears in multiple frames and matches with the position of the helmsman of a boat as demonstrated in Dinsdale's boat comparison. It has also been noted that the object in this film does not actually submerge as often perceived, but blends into the grayer reflections of the water. Additionally, Dick Rayner has noted that Dinsdale's binoculars were actually a wider field of view than his telephoto camera. Additionally, critics consider the dark shape noticed by the Discovery documentary analysis unlikely to be the shadow or a body underwater due to the low angle of the view. So they're saying, like, because of how it was shot, it's unlikely that there's like something actually under the water.
Yeah.
And it's more likely to be reflections on the shore behind the object. Although most researchers do not believe Dinsdale to be a hoaxer, his susceptibility to confirmation bias and trusting dubious sources as evidence has been criticized. So people want to believe it's the truth. They don't want to believe this guy is like a hoax, but everything that he has produced and whatever has seemed to have checked out to most people.
Yeah.
So on May 21st of 1977, Anthony Doc Shields, camping next to Urquhart Castle, took what were alleged to be the clearest picture of the monster then available. Shields, a magician, claimed to have summoned the animal out of the water. He later described it as a, quote, elephant squid.
What the fuck?
Claiming the long neck in the photo is the squid's trunk and that the white spot at the base of the neck is its eye. Due to the lack of ripples and translucent look, it has been declared a hoax by many people and received its name because of its staged look. And it's called the Loch Ness Muppet. That is what it's called, that photo. Yeah. So, on May 26th of 2007, 55-year-old laboratory technician Gordon Holmes videotaped what he said was, quote, this jet black thing about 46 feet long, moving fairly fast in the water. Loch Ness Monster watchers described it as among, quote, the best footage ever seen. BBC Scotland broadcast the video on May 29th of 2007. STV News North Tonight aired it on May 28th of 2007 and interviewed Holmes. Adrian Shine, a marine biologist at the Loch Ness 2000 Center in Drumnadrochit, suggested that the footage was an otter, seal, or water bird. It's always an otter. So Loch Ness...
But they're not freaking 46 freaking feet long.
Nessie is an oversized otter, apparently.
A very long, oversized otter.
On August 24th of 2011, Loch Ness boat captain Marcus Atkinson photographed a sonar image of a 1.5 meter wide, or 4.9 feet, unidentified object that seemed to follow his boat for 2 minutes at a depth of 75 feet and ruled out the possibility of a small fish or seal.
Yes, because they don't dive.
Right. In April of 2012, a scientist from the National Oceanography Center said that the image is a bloom of algae and zooplankton.
It's Nessie, god damn it. Y'all are just in denial.
Plankton.
Fuck plankton. Plankton's tiny.
It's plankton. He wants you to come to the chum bucket. So on August 3rd of 2012, skipper George Edwards claimed that a photo he took on November 2nd of 2011 shows Nessie. Edwards claimed to have searched for the monster for 26 years and reportedly spent 60 hours per week on the loch aboard his boat, Nessie Hunter IV, taking tourists for rides. Edwards said he probably just upgraded, because if he's taking tourists, he needs bigger boats.
Yeah.
Edwards said, in my opinion, it probably looks kind of like a manatee, but not a mammal. When people see 3 humps, they probably just seeing 3 separate monsters.
But a manatee is a mammal.
Yeah, so he said it looks like a manatee, but it doesn't look like a mammal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it still doesn't make sense.
Other researchers have questioned the photograph's authenticity, and Loch Ness researcher Steve Feltham suggested that the object in the water is a fiberglass hump used in a National Geographic Channel documentary in which Edwards had participated. Researcher Dick Rayner had questioned Edwards' claim of discovering a deeper bottom of Loch Ness, which Rayner calls, quotes, Edwards Deep. He found inconsistency between Edwards' claim for the location and the conditions of the photograph and the actual location and weather conditions that same day. So he's like, no, like this does not match.
Yeah.
According to Rayner, Edwards told him that he had faked the photograph in 1986 and that he claimed was genuine in the National Geographic documentary. Although Edwards admitted in October 2013 that his 2011 photograph was a hoax, he insisted that the 1986 photograph was genuine. So he's saying one's a hoax, one isn't.
Okay.
A survey of the literature about supposed sightings, including photographs, published in the Scientific American Blog Network on July 10, 2013, indicates none of them are actual sightings. So nobody, no proof, all fake. Especially Edwards.
I'm going to go and I'm going to take pictures of Nessie.
On August 27th of 2013, tourist David Elder presented a 5-minute video of a quote-unquote mysterious wave in the loch. According to Elder, the wave was produced by a 15-foot, quote, solid black object just under the surface of the water. Elder, who was 50, from East Kilbride, South Lanarkshire, was taking a picture of a swan at the Fort Augustus Pier on the southwestern end of the loch when he captured the movement. He said, quote, the water was very still at the time and there were no ripples coming off the wave and no other activity on the water. Skeptics suggested that the wave may have been caused by a wind gust.
What the fuck?
Bruh. On April 19th of 2014, it was reported that a satellite image on Apple Maps showed what appeared to be a large creature thought by some to be the Loch Ness Monster, just below the surface of Loch Ness. At the loch's far north, the image appeared about 30 meters, which is 98 feet long. Possible explanations were the wake of the boat, with the boat itself lost in the image, stitching, or lower contrast, seal-caused ripples, or floating wood. In September of 2021, so just 4 years ago, it was reported that a 6.1 meter or 20-foot creature was captured on a live stream near the loch, though it was quickly described as a digitally altered video by skepticists due to the lack of natural movement, an unlikely degree of illumination, and its resemblance to a stock image of a toy plesiosaurus. These are things that people can test. They can see if it's been edited. They can, especially 4 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to go to the searches. Those are all the main sightings, the big sightings about Loch Ness Monster, Nessie. So in 1934, there was an Edward Mountain expedition. After reading Rupert Gould's The Loch Ness Monster and others, Edward Mountain financed a search. 20 men with binoculars and cameras positioned themselves around the loch from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 5 straight weeks.
God dang.
Beginning on July 13th of 1934. Although 21 photographs were taken, none were considered conclusive. Supervisor James Fraser remained by the loch filming on September 15th of 1934, but the film is now lost.
Of course.
Zoologists and professors of natural history concluded that the film showed a seal, possibly a gray seal. So either a seal or a fucking otter. Make up your mind.
Exactly.
So the Loch Ness Phenomena Investigation Bureau lasted from 1962 to 1972, so for 10 years.
Okay.
The Loch Ness Phenomena Investigation Bureau, LNPIB, was a UK-based society formed in 1962 by Norman Collins, R.S.R. Fitter. I don't know what that means. Don't ask. I didn't look it up, and I'm not going to. Politician David James, Peter Scott, and Constance White, who published that book that had that picture in it, to study the Loch Ness and identify the creature known as the Loch Ness Monster or determine the causes of reports of it. In 1967, it received a grant of $20,000 from World Book Encyclopedia to fund a 2-year program of daylight watches from May to October. The principal equipment was a 35mm movie camera on mobile units with 20-inch lenses and one with the 36-inch lens at Achnanet near the midpoint of the loch. With the mobile units in laybys, about 80% of the loch was covered. The society's name was later shortened to the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau, LNIB, and it was disbanded in 1972. The LNIB had an annual subscription charge which covered administration. Its main activity was encouraging groups of self-funded volunteers to watch the loch from vantage points with film cameras and telescopic lenses. So this group were looking, but they were also, but they were also like, hey, you guys can pay us and you can go out there with cameras and film and see what you see.
Okay.
Yeah. From 1965 to 1972, it had a caravan camp and viewing platform at the Achnanet and sent observers to other locations up and down the loch. According to the Bureau's 1969 annual report, it had 1,030 members, of whom 588 were from the UK, so a little over half.
Oh, wow.
So there was a sonar study from 1967 to 1968. D. Gordon Tucker, chair of the Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering at the University of Birmingham, volunteered his services as a sonar developer and expert at Loch Ness in 1968. His gesture, part of a larger effort led by the LNIB from 1967 to 1968, involved collaboration between volunteers and professionals in a number of fields. Tucker had chosen Loch Ness as the test site for a prototype sonar transducer with a maximum range of about 2,600 feet. The device was fixed underwater at Temple Pier in Urquhart Bay and directed at the opposite shore, drawing an acoustic quote-unquote net across the loch through which no moving object could pass undetected. So this was like a sonar device that they put under the water that went out 2,600 feet, and if anything moved within this area, it would trigger it. It would get pictures. It would do what it had to do.
Yeah.
During the 2-week trial in August, multiple targets were identified. One was probably a shoal of fish, but others moved in a way not typical of shoals and speeds up to 10 knots. So something much, much bigger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nessie.
Maybe not quite that big, but yes.
Baby Nessie.
Robert Ryan studies 1972, 1975, 2001, and 2008.
Damn.
In 1972, a group of researchers from the Academy of Applied Science led by Robert H. Rines conducted a search for the monster involving sonar examination of the loch depths for unusual activity. Rines took precautions to avoid murky water with floating wood and peat. A submersible camera with a floodlight was deployed to record images below the surface. If Rines detected anything on sonar, he would turn the light on and take a picture.
Okay.
On August 8th, Rines' Raytheon DE-725C sonar unit operating at a frequency of 200 kilohertz and anchored at a depth of 36 feet identified a moving target or targets estimated by echo strength at 20 to 30 feet in length. So, very big. Specialists from Raytheon Simrad, now Kongsberg Maritime, Hydroacoustics, Marty Klein of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is MIT, and Klein Associates, a side-scan sonar producer, and Ida Dreyer of MIT's Department of Ocean Engineering were on hand to examine the data. So he had a plethora of people who knew what they were doing, knew what they were looking at, knew what they were supposed to be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
P. Skitsky of Raytheon suggested that the data indicated a 3 meter, which is 10-foot protuberance projecting from one of the echoes. So one of the echoes, it was 10 feet long.
Okay.
According
that's
to,
big.
that's still big, yeah. Not quite 20 to 30 feet, but 10 feet still pretty
It's a
big.
baby.
It's maybe, yeah. According to author Roy Mackle, the shape was a, quote, highly flexible, laterally flattened tail, or the misrepresented return from two animals swimming together. So, flappy wings, but it was his butt tail.
His back fins.
His butt tail. Concurrent with the sonar readings, the floodlit camera obtained a pair of underwater photographs, both depicting what appeared to be a rhomboid flipper.
Flippers!
That's the word. Flipper.
Flippers.
Not fin, it's flipper. Butt tail. Although skeptics have dismissed the images as depicting the bottom of the loch, air bubbles, a rock, or a fish fin.
What the? It's a flipper!
The apparent flipper was photographed in different positions indicating movement. The first flipper photo is better known than the second, and both were enhanced and retouched from the original negatives. According to team members Charles Wyckoff, looks like it says Whack-Off. Whack-Off.
Wick off. Just do wick off.
Oh, I'm going to say Wyckoff because that's like a W-Y, like Wyoming. According to team member Charles Wyckoff, the photos were retouched to superimpose the flipper. The original enhancement showed a considerably less distinct object. No one is sure how the originals were altered. During a meeting with Tony Harmsworth and Adrian Shine at the Loch Ness Center and Exhibition, Rhines admitted that the flipper photo may have been retouched by a magazine editor. So, we don't know if it's true or not now. British naturalist Sir Peter Scott announced in 1975 on the basis of the photographs that the creature's scientific name would be Nessitarius rhombopteryx. Greek for
Good job.
Greek for nest inhabitant with diamond-shaped fin.
There you go.
Okay. Scott intended that the name would enable the creature to be added to the British Register of Protected Wildlife. Scottish politician Nicholas Fairbairn called the name an anagram for, quote, monster hoax by Sir Peter S.
Wow.
However, Rhines countered that when rearranged, the letters could also spell, yes, both pics are monsters. R. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm confused.
Okay.
Another sonar contact was made, this time with two objects estimated to be about 9 meters or 30 feet. The strobe camera photographed two large objects surrounded by a flurry of bubbles.
Bubbles.
Some interpreted the objects as two plesiosaur-like animals, suggesting several large animals living in Loch Ness. This photograph has been rarely published. Like I said earlier,
Publish them damn photos, people.
like I said earlier, this thing is what, 2,600 feet deep?
Uh-huh.
Like, you're not going to be able to see all these fucking animals and creatures that live here. So it could possibly, there could be some unknown giant creature.
Especially you got caves in the loch.
Right.
And like, I watched Scooby. Like, they got caves in the loch.
Right.
Like, there's shit down there, man. Like, it's like
It
even our oceans.
It is entirely possible. It's like with the Amazon rainforest. We have only like covered like 12% of it. You don't know what could be out there and
like
discovered.
our ocean, like they haven't freaking figured out everything
there
in
could
our
be
ocean.
so much shit.
Hence why I don't go out in the ocean. Like if I can't touch the floor, fuck that.
No, I do because I can see through it and I know there's not going to be anything fucking weird like that close. Like sharks, and you got to worry about a little bit. But
yeah, no, if I can't touch the ground, I'm not going any further. Yeah. I have to be able to touch.
I just have to be able to see. I don't have to be able to touch.
If I can't touch, fuck that shit.
Yeah. No, I just have to be able to see. Touching is...
I'll get in a boat, but I'm staying in the boat. My ass is not going in the water. I stay in the boat.
Oh, my God.
If the boat capsized, fuck that. I'm dead.
No, yeah, you did. You did.
I'm dead.
A second research was conducted by Rhines in 1975. Some of the photographs, despite their obviously murky quality and lack of concurrent sonar readings, did indeed seem to show unknown animals in various positions and lightings. Why is he yelling?
Muffin!
Muffin is yelling about something. I don't know what he wants. One photograph appeared to show the head, neck, and upper torso of a plesiosaur-like animal, but skeptics argue the object... But skeptics argue the object is a log due to the lump on its, quote, chest area, the mass of sediment in the full photo, and the object's log-like, quote, unquote, skin texture. Another photograph seemed to depict a horned gargoyle head, consistent with that of some sightings of the monster. However, skeptics point out that the tree stump was later filmed during Operation Deep Scan in 1987, which bore a striking resemblance to the gargoyle head. So they're saying it was a log.
What the fuck?
In 2001, Rhines's Academy of Applied Science videotaped a V-shaped wake traversing still water on a calm day, which would be like if something is swimming underneath the water, like dolphins or whatever, before their dorsal fin hits top of the water, you see that V trail behind them. The Academy also videotaped an object on the floor of the loch resembling a carcass and found marine clam shells and a fungus-like organism not normally found in freshwater lochs, a suggested connection to the sea and a possible entry for the creature. So they're saying it's brought in things. Yes.
Because you got them caves that go, like,
out,
some caves, like, go out to the ocean.
And so they're saying, like, they're finding things that are not normally found in a loch. Something had to have brought them there, whether it be a person or the creature, but that's what they're saying.
Exactly.
In 2008, Rhines theorized that the creature may have become extinct, citing the lack of significant sonar readings and a decline in witness accounts. Maybe
because
he's just fucking hiding.
And because you people don't believe him anyway, you're just like...
Maybe he's just hiding because there are so many people for so long that have been there. You know, maybe it's just like a sentient being that knows what these humans are trying to do, trying to capture it, trying to kill it, do whatever. He undertook a final expedition using sonar and an underwater camera in an attempt to find a carcass. Rhines believed that the animal may have failed to adapt to temperature changes resulting from global warming. So that could also be...
He died in the cave. It said, I'm going to go die in
I mean, and that could be, you know, but I wouldn't think so because it wasn't a sudden shift in temperature.
Exactly.
It was a slow shift in temperature. So he would have had time to have adapted to the water temperature being different. But with that, if it had some kind of food source that was dying out, you know, that could have starvation or whatever. But I wouldn't think in a loch that there'd be a lack of food source, especially if something's coming in from the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Because they just go out to the ocean and eat.
Right, exactly. Operation Deep Scan was conducted in 1987. 24 boats equipped with echo-sounding equipment were deployed across the width of the loch and simultaneously sent acoustic waves. According to BBC News, the scientists had made sonar contact with an unidentified object of unusual size and strength. The researchers returned, rescanning the area. Analysis of the echo sounder images seemed to indicate debris at the bottom of the loch, although there was motion in 3 of the pictures. Adrian Shine speculated, based on size, that they may have been seals that had entered the loch.
They ain't gonna be at the bottom of the seals don't swim that fucking...
Yep. Sonar expert Daryl Lawrence, founder of Lawrence Electronics, donated a number of echo sounder units used in the operation. After examining a sonar return indicating a large moving object at a depth of 590 feet.
Yeah, that's not a seal.
Near Urquhart Bay, Lawrence said, quote, "There's something here that we don't understand, and there's something here that's larger than a fish. Maybe some species that hasn't been detected before. I don't know."
See, he's smart. Yes.
Right, he gets it. In 2003, the BBC sponsored a search of the loch using 600 sonar beams and satellite tracking. The search had sufficient resolution to identify a small buoy. No animal or substantial size was found, and despite the reported hopes, the scientists involved admitted that this proved the Loch Ness Monster was a myth.
Nah, his ass was hiding.
Searching for the Loch Ness Monster aired on BBC One.
That bitch said, y'all are looking for me. I'm not coming out.
It could have been out in the river.
Exactly.
Like if they're thinking he's using the caves or whatever to come from the river or the ocean into the loch, why would he not be out there knowing that there's people?
Exactly. He's like,
Hello.
why would I be out there with 600 fucking boats?
Right. Like, what the fuck?
Like, I'm not. No.
Yeah.
He ain't stupid.
And it's like the whole thing with like Bigfoot. It like became a sentient being. So like when what they're claiming, when cameras started getting better, when video started getting better, he started being more elusive because he knew he'd be caught.
Exactly.
It's like the
they're
same.
They're not stupid.
It's like the same situation here. Adrian Shine of the Loch Ness Project and Visit Scotland supported a survey of the loch using an underwater robot operated by Kongsberg Maritime. While investigating the depths of the loch, they found the resting place of a Nessie prop created for Billy Wilder's 1970 film, The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. Wally Weavers had designed the prop initially with a neck and 2 humps, but Wilder disliked the humps and ordered them removed. This change altered the buoyancy, and prop promptly sank into the loch during a filming test. And they were like, we're not going to go back and get that. We'll just build another one.
Yeah, they said, fuck that one.
An international team consisting of researchers from the universities of Otago, Copenhagen, Hull, and the Highlands and Islands. That was a tongue tie.
Okay.
Did a DNA survey of the lake in June 2018 looking for unusual species. The results were published in 2019. No DNA of large fish such as sharks, sturgeons, and catfish could be found.
How do you do DNA of a lake?
No otter or seal DNA were obtained either.
Oh, but look, it's a seal. It's an otter.
Though
it's
there were
seal.
a lot of eel DNA. So maybe now they're saying it's an eel. Which, I mean, would make kind of sense. Like when they're floating on the water, it does look like humps. And if they're giant eels, they have giant eels. But I wouldn't think that they're like
they don't
out
stick
like
their heads out the water.
Yeah,
though.
they don't do that.
They stay underneath.
Right. But I mean, when they're swimming, it could look like humps or whatever.
But they don't come out
they
the
don't
water.
come out the water like that. Yeah. The leader of the study, Professor Neil Gemmell of the University of Otago, said he could not rule out the possibility of eels of extreme size, though none were found, nor were ever any caught.
They said, fuck that shit.
The other possibility is that the large amount of eel DNA simply comes from many small eels. No evidence of any reptilian sequences were found, he added, quote, so I think we can be fairly sure that there is probably not a giant scaly reptile swimming around in Loch Ness.
Yes, there is.
It's going to be scaly and slimy. I don't like it. In August of 2023, so just 2 years ago, a weekend of high-tech searching was done in observance of the 90th anniversary of the 1933 Aldie Mackay sighting. The event was coordinated by Loch Ness exploration volunteers in collaboration with the Loch Ness Visitor Center. The technology used included, quote, sonar for mapping the loch bed, thermal imaging drones to scan the surface, and hydrophones, which are underwater microphones to pick up any acoustics or sound, which did record some sounds, but were, quote-unquote, probably ducks.
What the?
Underwater? Ducks underwater. Like, where? What?
No.
Quack, quack, quack. Maybe Nessie just fucking quacks. Okay? It's a giant thing. She's never had any interaction.
She just goes,
maybe
quack.
she just had, like, a lot of ducks when she was growing up, and she adopted it. Quack, quack, like a bird.
Or she's mocking you people.
Yeah, like, let me figure out how to distract them. I'm gonna quack.
I'm gonna quack.
Despite a large turnout of searchers on site and hundreds more viewing internet live stream cameras pointed at the loch, there were no conclusive sightings. Of course not.
I'm gonna go and I'm going to take a picture of Nessie and I'm gonna touch it.
You can touch it. I'm not touching it. Ugh, no, gross. Okay.
You have your fucking bearded dragons.
They're not slimy. Something that lives in the ocean that has algae attaching to it are going to be slimy.
Wear gloves.
They are not slimy.
Wear gloves.
Not slimy.
I'm touching Nessie.
So, there have been a number of explanations suggested to account for sightings of the creature. According to Ronald Binns, a former member of the Loch Ness Phenomena Investigation Bureau, the LNPIB. I don't remember what it's called. There is probably no single explanation of the monster. Binns wrote 2 skeptical books, the 1983, quote, The Loch Ness Mystery Solved, and his...
Not solved.
Not solved. And his 2017, The Loch Ness Mystery Reloaded, because apparently in recent years, it's been very popular again. In these, he contends that an aspect of human psychology is the ability of the eye to see what it wants, which is what we talked about earlier, and expects to see. So if you're going there expecting to see this, whatever happens in the water, if it's a log, if it's a branch, if it's a capsized boat, you're going to see Loch Ness. You're going to see Nessie. You're not going to see what it really is.
Yeah.
Because you want to. They may be categorized as misidentifications of known animals, misidentifications of inanimate objects or effects, reinterpretations of Scottish folklore, hoaxes, and exotic species of large animals. A reviewer wrote that Benz had, quote-unquote, evolved into the author of the definitive, skeptical book on the subject. So, basically what they're saying is he is the go-to person.
Yeah.
The go-to skeptic.
Yeah.
Benz does not call the sightings a hoax, but a myth in the true sense of the term, and states that the quote-unquote monster is a sociological phenomenon. After 1983, the search for the possibility that there just might be continues to enthrall a small number of whom eyewitnesses' evidence outweighs all other considerations. So he's saying there are like hard, like Bigfoot, there are hardcore people who believe this to the depths of their being.
Yes.
And regardless of whatever evidence is out there, no, it's Nessie.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank period, like Courtney over here. Point blank period, it's Nessie. No,
I'm just
don't
saying.
care.
I'm just saying.
So another explanation would be like just misidentification of known animals, like the eels we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
A large European eel was an early suggestion of what the quote-unquote monster was. Eels are found in Loch Ness, and an unusually large one would explain many sightings like we talked about.
Yes.
Dinsdale dismissed the hypothesis because eels undulate side to side like snakes. Sightings in 1856 of a quote-unquote sea serpent or kelpie in a freshwater lake near Lurbost in the Outer Hebrides were explained as those of an oversized eel, also believed common in highland lakes. So he's saying could be an eel, but they don't move forward straight. They wiggle.
They wiggle.
Right.
Wiggle.
But at the same time, if you've ever watched an eel from the top, it does have that V shape behind it when it's moving. But you can definitely tell it's, an eel. From 2018 to 2019, scientists from New Zealand undertook a massive project to document every organism in Loch Ness based on DNA samples. Their reports confirmed that European seals are still found in the loch.
Eels.
What did I say?
Seals.
Oh, no seals. There are no seals. Their reports confirmed that European eels are still found in the loch. No DNA samples were found for large animals such as catfish, Greenland sharks, or plesiosaurs. How would they even know they have plesiosaur DNA? Many scientists now believe that a giant eel account for many, if not most, of the sightings, which is, when they brought up eels, I was like, yeah, that's plausible.
Yeah.
Just a fucking giant one that is hiding, because eels hide.
Exactly.
Eels hide in the caves. In 1979, an article by California biologist Dennis Power and the geographer Donald Johnson claimed that the quote-unquote surgeon's photograph was the top of the head, extended trunk, and flared nostrils of a swimming elephant photographed elsewhere and claimed to be from Loch Ness. So that's
I'm about to be like,
that's how the elephant got into Loch Ness.
I'm like, there's no fucking no.
In 2006, paleontologist and artist Neil Clark suggested that traveling circuses might have allowed elephants to bathe in the loch.
That makes sense.
Maybe, but with the loch being 2,600 feet,
they can't, because
they wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't think that they would have been able to.
They wouldn't be able to. No, they would like literally drown because they
I
would
would think because it'd be too deep. But he thinks maybe the trunk could be the perceived head and neck.
They would get tired super quick having to keep their body weight up.
Yeah, and like, how are you going to save them? Like, because elephants don't really swim. They just stand in the water and like spray themselves. Like, I've seen like documentaries where elephants are in deeper water, but it's not that deep.
Yeah, and they don't have to go very far in the deep.
Right. I mean, it could be, but I don't think so. The trunk could be the perceived head and neck, with the head and back the perceived humps. In support of this, Clark provided an example painting. If I can find that, I'll look and see.
It's not an elephant.
The Greenland shark. Zoologist, angler, and television presenter Jeremy Wade investigated the creature in 2013 as part of the series River Monsters, which I think is on like Netflix or Discovery or somewhere.
Discovery.
And concluded that it is a Greenland shark. The Greenland shark, which can reach up to 20 feet in length, inhabits the North Atlantic Ocean around Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, and possibly Scotland. It is dark in color with a small dorsal fin. According to biologist Bruce Wright, the Greenland shark could survive in fresh water, possibly using rivers and lakes to find food, and Loch Ness has an abundance of salmon or other fish. But again, the DNA that they took showed no sharks.
Yeah.
No shark DNA.
But how do you
So-
take DNA out of a lake?
I guess in the water? I don't know. I really don't know. In July 2015, 3 news outlets reported that Steve Feltham, after a vigil at the loch was recognized by the Guinness Book of Records, theorized that the monster is an unusually large specimen of Wales catfish, which may have been released during the late 19th century. But again, the DNA did not show any catfish.
Mm-hmm. That's a giant ass catfish, though.
Yeah, I mean, catfish get pretty big.
I'm
Not like that big, but they get pretty big. It could be other resident animals. It is difficult to judge the size of an object in water through a telescope or binoculars with no external reference. Loch Ness has resident otters, and photos of them and deer swimming in the loch, which were cited by author Ronald Binns, may have been misinterpreted.
It's not a fucking deer.
According to Binns, birds may be mistaken for a head and neck sighting.
Because deer can't swim in that
But
deep.
again, they were saying that there were no DNA of otters either.
Exactly.
So I don't understand. They're also saying it could be misidentification of inanimate objects or effects like boat wakes.
Unless
Wakes
they're
have-
only in certain areas of the, and they I guess only did a certain part of DNA testing.
or maybe just depth wise. I don't know how they do it. I really
Yeah.
don't know. Boat wakes. Wakes have been reported when the loch is calm with no boats nearby. Bartender David Munro reported a wake he believed was a creature zigzagging, diving, and reappearing. There were reportedly 26 other witnesses from a nearby car park. Although some sightings describe a V-shaped wake similar to a boat's, others report something not conforming to the shape of a boat. You laying down, baby? It's walking in circles. In 1933, the Daily Mirror published a picture with the caption, quote, "This queerly shaped tree trunk washed ashore at Foyers on Loch Ness. It is thought to be responsible for the reported appearance of a monster." So a tree trunk washed ashore, and they're saying it came from the loch, and that's what people were seeing at that time. In 1982, a series of articles for New Scientist Maurice Burton proposed that sightings of Nessie and similar creatures may be from minting Scots pine logs rising to the surface of the loch. So they have trees that are in the water, and then when they die or whatever, they float to the top. So he's saying that's probably what it was. A decomposing log could not initially release gases caused by decay because of its high resin level, but the gas pressure would eventually rupture a resin seal at the end of the log, propelling it through the water, sometimes to the surface. So
that would suck if you were swimming and you get hit
Yeah,
by a tree.
Bonk. Yeah, that would suck. What the fuck? I would think it'd be a monster coming after me too. Shit.
I know, just flying up at you. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. According to Burton, the shape of tree logs with their branched stumps closely resembles descriptions of the monster. Another reason could be seeks and waves. Loch Ness, because of its long, straight shape, is subject to unusual ripples affecting its surface. A seiche is a large oscillation of a lake caused by water reverting to its natural level after being blown to one end of the lake, resulting in a standing wave from an earthquake or something.
Yeah.
The Loch Ness oscillation period is 31.5 minutes. Earthquakes in Scotland are too weak to cause observable seiche, but extremely massive earthquakes far away could cause large waves. The seiche created in Loch Ness by the catastrophic 1755 Lisbon earthquakes was reportedly, quote, so violent as to threaten destruction to some of the houses built on the sides of it, while the 1761 aftershock caused 2-foot waves. However, no sightings of the monster were reported in 1755.
Yeah.
Just like the later dates. Wind conditions can give a choppy, matte appearance to the water, with calm patches appearing dark from the shore, reflecting the mountains and the clouds. In 1979, W.H. Len showed the atmospheric refraction could distort the shape and size of objects and animals, and later published a photograph of a mirage of a rock on Lake Winnipeg that resembled the head and neck. So, completely different lake.
Yeah.
Reflection of the earth or whatever at that time showed what looked like the Loch Ness Monster in a completely different area.
Yeah.
Italian geologist Luigi Picardi had proposed geological explanations for ancient legends and myths. Picardi noted that in the earliest recorded sightings of the creature, the life of St. Columba, when we talked about the very beginning, 500, 6th century or whatever it was, the creature's emergence was accompanied by cum ingeti fremitu, which quote unquote is with loud roaring. So it seems like the earth was shaking or moving at some point or something like that, and that is when this creature appeared.
And that's when he was like, "Back demon."
Yes. The Loch Ness is along the Great Glen Fault, and this could be a description of an earthquake. Many reports consist only of a large disturbance on the surface of the water. This could be a release of gas through the fault, although it may be mistaken for something swimming below the surface. So yeah, they're saying like there's gas under the water, and when it comes up,
it's the water farting.
It could dig up whatever's in the murky water, trees or whatever, and it just like floats all the way up.
Because that would definitely suck to be swimming and that thing just like a tree just shoot at you.
I would crack up. That'd be great. That'd be hilarious. That'd be like, I would pay to see that. That'd be good. But that is Nessie.
Nessie is real, damn it.
Whether or not you believe, it's something to think about. Way more research done on Nessie than ever on Bigfoot. Like, it's crazy how much research was done on
people
Nessie.
in America are like, eh.
Yeah, we're like, it's not here, so we don't care. Like, we have Bigfoot and the Alabama white thing. And the Wendigo.
Yeti.
Yeah, and the Wendigo and La Llorona, all that shit that happens over here, I guess. But that was our episode for today. It's very, very long. I do apologize, but it was some good information, I think. We don't normally get that kind of in-depth information about creatures, like mythical creatures, because like they quote unquote don't exist, and so there's not like a whole lot of research.
Ventured out of America.
Yeah, but not just that. It's just we don't normally get that kind of detailed information about a lot of the creatures and cryptids that we talk about. Like even Bigfoot didn't really have a whole lot.
They're like, oh, we saw him, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. It looked like it was eating something, and then I ran away. You know, like,
everyone's your chickens.
Yes. But that was the episode for today. It was long. Last episode was long, so you guys are getting like double length right now.
Since we gave you some
welcome to the new year.
Since we've been giving you guys some short ones.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to be indicative of the rest of the year. Very long episodes. I really don't know. I know we do have some long ones coming, but I don't know if all of them are going to be long. So if they are, you're welcome. If they're not, you're also welcome.
Oh, my friend's excited for the Island of the Dolls. I told her I was doing that one.
I'm not excited. That might be the day I drink wine.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, that might be the day I drink wine.
No, that makes you sleepy. You gotta drink.
I will sleep through the whole thing.
I'll bring you moonshine.
That is going to fuck me up. I will be in here crying, rocking back and forth. Wine does not fuck me up that bad. It just gets me a little buzzed. So like I'll be relaxed.
Wine makes me sleepy.
I'll be relaxed. Yeah. I had wine yesterday. It didn't make me sleepy. I think I was just really tired the other day.
Yeah.
But moonshine, no, I'm gonna be fucked up and I'm gonna be crying. Okay, like moonshine, I can't.
But the wine with Sprite sounds pretty good actually.
It is really good, but I don't drink. Yeah. And when I do, it's very little, very seldom.
Same.
So moonshine will fuck my world the fuck up. Can't do it, won't do it. Can't stop, won't stop. I can buy myself flowers. Anyway, that's the episode for today. You guys can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/hauntedandhomicidal. Always can email us, hauntedandhomicidal@gmail.com. Tell us what you think, that you hate us, that you love us.
Please don't hate us.
Any suggestions? You know, if you hate us, that sounds like a personal problem and you just have bad taste. I don't know what to tell you. And then you can find like all these pictures and links and stuff that we do find, maybe videos or like songs. I think there's like maybe Loch Ness Monster songs. I'm not sure. We put this on Facebook.
Scooby-Doo episode.
Facebook.com/hauntedandhomicidal. thank you guys for your support, your continued support into the new year. We are coming up on episode 50 here in a couple of weeks. It's very exciting. But other than that, okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.